Hey, welcome to the pod seat. My name is AJ.
Hello guys, this is Lex. Welcome back to another video.
Hey, in today's video, we're going to talk about what is going on in East Palestine. As you can see, it's very, very sad. And it's honestly, I'm in disbelief that how our government is reacting to East Palestine.
It's to me also, you don't see that on TV. Like I would like to see it. They're not taking the time to talk about it. And there's a lot of people who had to leave their houses just because of the air problem. And they really, really, really need to be honest with the people too.
I mean, all I'm seeing mostly it was being on Twitter last week. It was not even on mainstream media that much. Now it's becoming a mainstream media target because President Trump, when he said that he's gonna go visit East Palestine, that's when the Biden administration said that, okay, you know what, we're gonna also meet East Palestine as well. But right now on President's Day, the mayor of Ohio is very angry because on President's Day, you have to do something for your country, right? You
Right.
have a situation in East Palestine and you go to Ukraine to visit, marking the 1 year anniversary of Russia attacking Ukraine. First of all, you should be de escalating that war because now China is getting involved and trying to supply Russia. Instead of this de-escalating that situation, you're also escalating that situation. Plus, you have a situation in where Americans are in a situation where they can't go to their houses. They don't know if that water is safe to drink. People are getting rashes. I mean, this government is all about trying to do something somewhere else, trying to bully the world and everything. And instead of helping your own Americans, your own people, the taxpayers that are funding supposedly that war, you're not doing anything to help their efforts. And that to me is
Right.
in I'm in disbelief in that.
Well, first of all, they need to stop getting this. They need to help the people first. Who goes there, and if it's Trump, Biden, whoever goes, they need to come with a good intention for the people, first of all. Like you were saying, they have problems with the water, drinking water, air. And I believe they're still doing tests on the ground. They don't even know if it's polluted. Think about it. Uh, The US, this country, is supposed to be first world country. It needs to be on point when something like this happen inside the nation. And they're not doing it. Maybe it's because there's nothing to gain politically. I would think that's what it is. But in the meantime, people is struggling. Uh, Water. They had to get these people out of their house, and some of these people are not back yet.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't.
Most of the people aren't back. The seniors are supposedly barely back right now. But even if that's the case, uh, you're giving $500 million, you're pledging $500 million to Ukraine again for weapons and all that stuff. Once you already gave them $10 billion, you already gave them another $1 billion. When is it gonna stop? When is this gonna stop? Like
Yep.
we already have a budget deficit crisis right now. And if that doesn't get approved in June, all hell will break loose. What is
Which is
going on with this Ukraine situation? I honestly don't understand why the European nations aren't helping more than we are. Why are we helping so much when it's like miles, hundreds of thousands of miles away from us.
It's
Wow.
always been like that. The US has to be the one who's gonna put up more money than anybody else. In the meantime, back in our country, back home, we have that problem. We have shootouts. We have nobody wants to go ahead and deal with the gun control. I don't I don't see how you see people going to school, a school, shoot kids, and nobody gets motivated to do something about it. They're kids, man. We everybody talk about kids are the future of any nation. Well, something happened to our school, and it happens all the time. It has gone to the point that everybody's getting used to these things. Before you hear something happen, a mall, school, shootout, it will be on TV for months. Now we there's one or two, maybe three a week, and you can barely see the news talking about it. We got used to it, and that's very sad. We're not supposed to be used to
Absolutely.
these kind of things.
Absolutely.
And
I definitely agree with you right there. There has to be something done. There has to be something about where no, like a thorough background check needs to be there. But either party doesn't want to touch that subject because it's very, very touchy and they don't want to upset any voters that they might have or can lose.
well, to me, they don't have to take your guns away, but they need to regulate who's gonna carry a gun. You don't need a rifle.
But it's hard to like, calculate when that, can happen because like you can be perfectly fine carrying a firearm one day and let's say like 2, 3 years from now, a lot of bullshit piles up in your life. You can't handle it and you just go ballistic.
Yeah,
And you can't calculate that. No amount of whatever regulations can calculate when a person loses its breaking point.
I
But with that
understand.
being said, it's still more it's still a better chance that get that regulated, put it in people's head. It I rather see President Biden when he said that on his in his State of the Union that he will help the teachers and educators with giving them more raises and everything like that. I agreed with it 100% because it was finally something for education. But now, as you can see, our education system is getting so corrupt. Even there you see a lot of fraud, a lot of you know money laundering stuff happen there, and it's very sad to see that this like government is falling apart because people's greed, and no one's educating the kids perfectly fine. Half of them get their news and learn anything from like the internet. I was watching a video, Lex, and I think we should do a little review, a reaction video to it. Yeah, the kids couldn't tell time from an analog clock. They could only tell time from a digital clock. They can't tell what a
It's
minute hand is or a hour hand is, a second hand is. They were saying the dumbest answers for things that,
well,
I mean, people have been taught. They're
yeah,
not
but
taught
that's
that kind of stuff.
it's different time for these kids. And the school doesn't wanna teach what the past used to be, which is very important. The kids need to learn what the past was, what the present is, and what the future is gonna be.
It's a lot of make believe that they're teaching kids nowadays.
And that's not happening because they just want to make sure that kids learn just the basics to me. You ask any high school student, ask him where uh Brazil is, they will not be able to tell you where it is. You can ask them where Hawaii is. They're not going to be able to tell you what it is or where it is, their location. So geographically, these kids are not good at it. And those are just the
And it's
basics.
sad because, supposedly we're a first, like you said, we're a first world country. We're
Yeah.
slowly becoming a third world country, and it's a matter
It,
of time when it happens. It just takes one war to lose, and we'll become a third world country.
yeah.
And this
And
guy is trying to take us to a war where we no one needs to go to it for no reason. We have no business going over there. We have no business sending weapons over there. If they used to say Ukraine was so corrupt and this and that about Ukraine, all of a sudden we're sending piles of money to Ukraine. We're sending piles of weapons, tanks to Ukraine. I understand that, they were attacked, but you have to de
yeah.
escalate that situation. You're
Well,
escalating that situation when supposedly when you hear, oh, if America sends its tanks, we'll start bombing it and this and that. Why are you pushing Russia? You know Russia has nuclear weapons and everything, but you still want to push their buttons. And now you have China supposedly trying to help them, with giving them manufacture supplies, tanks, maybe weapons too now.
in every war,
Imagine that. That's starting World War III. And
yeah,
we're
but
just sitting here looking at it like, okay, yeah, no, mainstream media says, oh no, we gotta protect Ukraine. We gotta protect. Where was Ukraine like 5 years ago?
yeah. And you
Corrupt.
know what the sad thing is? You know what the sad thing is? The people who suffer is the regular average citizen of Ukraine. Those are the ones struggling,
Where is
dying.
their help? Where is
The
their help?
government, the upper government, is the one who's making money.
Oh yeah.
The war is a money maker. It's blood money. The citizens, the regular average person in Ukraine are dying. Kids end up with no parents.
It's
They're
it's
dying.
it's sad
They're
because
gonna
a
they're
lot
gonna
of
be
people
back
believe
from
whatever
the
the mainstream media says too.
but from this war, that country is gonna go back at least 20 years.
If
Watch.
if they lose, if they win, then they're going to be another major superpower. Because remember, Ukraine knows how to make weapons of mass destruction too.
But the whole country is ruined. It's being bombed so many times.
That
Buildings,
it can grow.
roads, it can, but it's not gonna be in 5 years.
And you know who's going to be paying for that? Oh, have you seen Dubai grow? Within 10 years they grew like so quick.
But yeah, they have the funds though. It's a
But
completely different place. No war. They had years and years and years to plan it out, do the map, do the blueprint. And in 5 to 10 years, they took action and they did it. Ukraine is different. Ukraine is in the war. Buildings, roads, infrastructure is being damaged. That's gonna take a long time for that to be rebuilt. Plus, most of their people are dying. They're gonna end up with a huge percent of their population gone.
honestly, I'm just waiting for March because I believe, that's when Russia really gets out of their winter. And I feel like, they're gonna say uh they're gonna see like another Russian assault. And I think that's when, I think things are gonna start escalating more. And it's gonna be hard to stop from that point. Because at that point I feel like a lot of innocent people will die. And then mainstream media will obviously spin their story. And I think it's gonna really, really kick in uh of where a lot of serious battles will happen. A lot of tension is going to be built, and I think a lot of economies will start collapsing
Yeah,
because of
yeah.
that.
That probably gonna happen this summer. I
So,
mean,
sorry.
it's it no, this is something that we need to just wait and see what's gonna happen. Uh, Ukraine is going to this the worst is to come. That is for sure. The worst is to come. Uh, Europe, I think, is getting ready. The US is always ready. Russia, these guys, they have that's I guess that's what that their nature is. They like to go to war. So they have experience. Somehow they know what they're doing because they have a background. But hopefully, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope nothing happens. I hope we finish this year with no war. Ukraine duke it out with Russia in a way where everybody wins and everybody's gonna be happy. I hope that happens, but I doubt it.
Yeah, there's you heard about Chat GPT, right? So
Right.
there's two dates that it gave out. So they're saying that a Black Swan event will happen February 29th, which a Black Swan event is something that it causes like a big shit. Like, COVID was a Black Swan event that caused
Hmm.
the markets to go down. Chat
So that's a,
GPT is saying that on February 29th, a Black Swan event might happen. And
this month.
yeah, and March 15th is when stock markets can crash on March 15th. There's
Mm.
two dates that, Chat GPT was saying, and it was tweeted by Unusual Whales. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. Be careful with your money, guys, and, you know, be smart, because that's all I can say. Like,
Yeah.
it can get very scary, very, very quick. Very,
And
very
also
quick.
just going back to East Palestine, I hope also, these guys get the help they need from the government. There are so many agencies trying to help, which I hope that's what they're doing, that they're gonna compensate the people. Because you don't know what the long-term issue is going to be. You just don't know if they're gonna get like skin cancer, any type of cancer. Whatever illness they get, hopefully the government or the train company is gonna step it up and be there and help.
Yeah, that's we're gonna have to look into why there's so many train derailments. In the past month there was four. One was in Houston too. Um, it's crazy to see that, when a train is carrying toxic chemicals, I think it should go in a certain speed. It should be you know,
It
wherever pathway it goes through. I think,
it could be maintenance too.
yeah, the maintenance
It could
of the
be
train, the people that work for the train companies,
the
the
train tracks.
railroad track companies, the railroad regulators, they need to like thoroughly check, like whenever these kind of trains go through. Because if they're carrying toxic materials, hazardous materials, thank God it wasn't carrying any uranium or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Because
But it is toxic though. Whatever
exactly,
spill is not a good thing. Uh, it's not.
you really have to be careful uh when you're, a train conductor, train company owner, railroad regulators. You have to like be careful of these things. And I think if there's four derailments in the past month, that tells you something that, maybe it's time to upgrade some of these things. Like, I agree with President Biden in some things where the infrastructure needs to definitely be upgraded. But, we've been hearing that for the past two presidents, President Trump and President Biden, but really nothing has been, you haven't been seeing upgrades in infrastructure. You haven't seen any uh upgrades in like transportation or
Yeah.
shipping,
Well,
receiving. We're really behind in all those things, and I think if America really wants to like compete with China, then they need to step up. They need to start
well,
looking at their company. You don't see China, like China's involved in all these other nations, but you don't see China like, being, oh, well, we're gonna help, these people right here. No, they're in for their money. And the United States, as much as they, want to brag about, oh, we're helping these people out, da 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 da. You're not really helping those people out. A lot of those people haven't seen any of the money that we have been sending them, and it's all
well,
there.
well, didn't Biden pass the budget for the bridges? They're gonna build bridges, roads, and all of
The
that
infrastructure thing
bunch.
passed, or
Yeah,
the electric, cars and all that stuff, vehicle passed, but you're not seeing it. You know what I'm saying? You're not
yeah.
seeing it go through.
Well,
I mean, they're saying American companies are supposed. I mean, sorry. Whenever infrastructure companies want to build something, they have to use American tools. So in that case, that's why if like we'll talk about the stock market like in another video, but that's why the Dow Jones has been holding on very strong because a lot of those American companies that are very solid have been holding on to their stock prices because even though like a lot of tech companies have been falling, those companies are still strong because we're buying American products to go through. So we're starting to see a shift, which is good. So hopefully that
yeah,
brings more American jobs and everything. But the average person works two jobs to survive.
yeah. If we That's the American dream.
Yeah,
Work a lot and don't have a
that's
life.
not the American
That's
dream.
basically what it is.
Yeah,
But it was a good conversation today. I'm glad we were talking about
yeah,
these
we
kind of
covered a
things that are
lot.
happening. Yeah, is you know Palestine, East Palestine, Ukraine. These people are suffering. So again, I just hope they get the help they need,
Yeah,
and hopefully we're gonna be able to talk about both of these locations more on another video. And hopefully the next video is gonna be
hopefully
something
we get an
positive.
update too. Yeah, we should be getting
Yes,
an
yes.
update soon on them and how they're doing. So, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you guys once again, and come back and see us again. Take care and see you in the next one.
All right, bye.